Welcome back. Now, after disgorging hundreds of thousands of barrels of crude oil into the ocean off the coast of Alaska, the Exxon Valdez became a byword for environmental disaster. 23 years on, the oil tanker has made its final voyage to the breaker's yard. But environmental groups say its toxic legacy lives on. It's now beached in the Indian coastal town of Alang in the state of Gujarat. That's the world's largest scrapyard, but one with a very controversial safety record, as our Asia correspondent John Sparks now reports.
She appeared on the horizon, then veered towards shore. An ocean giant on her final voyage to a place called Alang. Thousands get scrapped on the town's oil-stained beach, but this one's got a reputation. The Exxon Valdez, long synonymous with environmental disaster. And in her final days, she's still causing problems. Activists say she's toxic, and workers say she could be lethal.
The spillage is an environmental nightmare in an area...
In 1989, the Exxon Valdez hit a reef in Alaska. The captain had gone down to do some paperwork, leaving an unqualified crew member in charge. Tens of millions of gallons of oil were spilt into the sea, and the impact on wildlife and the local population was devastating.
Are you really more concerned about money or the environment?
23 years on, and much of the oil's still there.
Thank you very much.
But in 3 months' time, the vessel will be gone. It all happens behind closed doors because Alang is a restricted area. Visitors are discouraged and journalists effectively banned. Most communities in India are not surrounded by police checkpoints like this, but Alang is different. That's because it plays host to what must be the world's largest scrapyard. And it's not something that people around here want you to see. With the help of our contacts, we slipped past the gates and into this strange and oversized world. 700 laborers have started dismantling the Exxon Valdez, a ship renamed this year as the Oriental Nicety. Yes, the Oriental Nicety. But environmental groups tried to stop them in the courts, claiming she's contaminated with asbestos and toxic chemicals. Still, India's Supreme Court said the shipbreakers had complied with the law.
You cannot question the judgment of Honorable Supreme Court. These NGOs or environmentalists, they've got this habit. They know that once they push a matter into something, it is going to be a court matter, and ship recycler is going to lose money by just waiting for 5 months, 6 months and paying interest. And they enjoy it.
The ship breaking activity on Alang beach is actually undertaken by a mafia, which does not respect any law. If they are making claims of improvement, let the Alang beach be open to the researchers and reporters to examine and verify for themselves what has improved.
The NGOs and activists aren't the only ones worried about the Exxon Valdez. Migrant laborers who ripped the ships apart by hand say she could cost them their lives. 3 weeks ago, a massive explosion tore through a neighboring ship. The authorities say 6 men were incinerated when they cut through hazardous fuel pipes with a blowtorch. Workers told us company managers were to blame. They'd ordered the men to do it.
The manager said, don't use a hammer, it spoils the product. The product won't be the same. And if you have a problem with that, you can take your money and leave.
In an unprecedented move, the police charged the owners of the yard with manslaughter, although they avoided custody and went to hospital instead, complaining of chest pains. It was all captured on Indian TV. Still, the full story hasn't been told, say workers. We spoke to several at the town's poorly equipped clinic as they filed in for first aid.
It's very, very dangerous here. You know, 25 to 30 people died in that accident, and many of the bodies have disappeared. Nobody knows where they've gone.
We passed on this allegation to the police, but few here expect much to come of it. The ships and their steel come first, they say, and the workers are dispensable.
There's no difference between us and the dogs on the street. Dogs get hit by cars and die. Workers get killed in accidents and die. It's the same.
In life, the Exxon Valdez was at the heart of a natural catastrophe. And on her deathbed, some say she's contributing to another. The shipbreakers told us Alang has changed. It's cleaner and safer than it used to be. But there are many on both sides of the checkposts who are yet to be convinced. John Sparks, Channel 4 News, Alang, India.